So here is a 4.5 pound leg of lamb, boneless. I'm going to remove from the packaging. I'm going to also keep the netting that's around it there, you see. I'm going to keep that off to the side. We're going to use that later on in the video. Now we are going to prepare to make our dry brine. This lamb is going to be going into the fridge overnight for 24 to 48 hours. And what we're going to do is take the kosher salt there. We're going to generously season it along with the cracked black pepper. And we're going to do that to both sides of our lamb. So now that we're done with the lamb and it's setting up overnight in the fridge, we're going to make our garlic confit. Here I have 2 cups of garlic cloves. I'm trimming off the ends, and then to that I'm going to add in a saucepan 1.5 cups of olive oil, which we will cook on our stovetop at a low temperature for about 45 minutes until it's about golden brown. So while our garlic confit cooks down on the stovetop, I'm going to go ahead and prepare our spices that we're going to use to baste the boneless leg of lamb with. Here I have rosemary. Notice I just took the top 2 leaves off and then I run my fingers down that main stem, and that's an easy way of getting your rosemary off the stem. Little technique I like to use. So yeah, we'll get the rosemary prepped and then we'll move on to our thyme. All right, here we have the thyme. It is still young and pretty fresh, so I'm going to chop up the stems also. It has a lot of flavor in it. And for each one of these herbs that we're using to baste the leg of lamb today, we're going to want to have about 3 tablespoons of them once we mince up our herbs. And last but not least, we have our parsley. We also are going to chop up the stems as well as the leaves and mince up to about 3 tablespoons. Just taking a quick peek at our garlic confit, starting to turn golden brown. All right, 24 hours later, that is our leg of lamb there. You can see the dry brine took. It's beautiful. And we also have our garlic confit we pulled off the stovetop. It sat to room temperature for an hour in the jar there. We're going to take our herbs that I've chopped up previously, and then we're going to take a 1/3 cup of this roasted garlic oil, and we're going to add that to our herbs along with a couple garlic cloves, some salt and some pepper, and this is what we're going to be basting our leg of lamb with. So yeah, you see the herbs there. We've incorporated everything, our salt, pepper, our roasted garlic oil. We're going to add a few more cloves in. And then what we're going to do with the rest of those cloves is we're going to take our leg of lamb and we're going to stuff it with those roasted garlic cloves. All right, so we have stuffed our leg of lamb with about 20 to 25 garlic cloves. I now am going to take about a 1/3 of our herb mixture and I'm going to generously baste our leg of lamb. And then once I get this baste evenly applied to the side, I am going to roll our lamb back up and use that netting that it came in. So I said, don't get rid of it. We're going to re-envelop it with the netting, and then we're going to baste it with the rest of our herb mixture. Leg of lamb is ready for the smoker. This here is a temp spike. I highly recommend investing in one of these for those of you that don't have an electric smoker and can't just set your temperature. But I, as you can see here, have a Kamado Joe, and We have it set to 225 degrees. We are using pecan wood. You can use maple, alder, cherry, whatever your preference is. You see there we have a drip pan underneath it. We're going to try to cook our lamb today to about 125 to 140. That's going to give us about a medium rare to medium finish. But like I said, I will in the description leave a recipe for the drippings of that pan we're going to use to make a sauce to pour over our lamb once it is finished. So 4 hours in, we are checking our leg of lamb. It looks like it is ready to go. Bring it inside, going to trim it up, and there you have it. Look at that. You can see the roasted garlic cloves. It is a thing of beauty, and it was very, very delicious.